Hey guys, and welcome to the Igloo. Today we're going to be showing debug info and a few other things when it comes to actually running your server and how you can actually use these admin commands to actually benefit you in running your server. Now, the reason why I'm teleporting all over the place is to show the amount of delay there is. You see the spikes? Those spikes are because of memory allocation to rendering the world that's around you. So, again, that's just showing that you're going to need an SSD or an M.2. Because if you have a hard drive, you're going to be pretty much floating around all over the place, like what the console people are doing with right now. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is that we're going to be spawning in fake players. These fake players, what they do is that they fill up the server's RAM portion so that you can actually see on how much stress that the server will be put in. I put too much over, and it pretty much said, yeah, you're not allowed to have this many people. You can only have 70 people. That's more than 70. So it's just like, all right, now everything's fine, everything's debugged, and you can see that my server is running with 10 people and then 50 placeholders with around 17 FPS. Now, when you're actually entering these kind of spawn indication codes, you can actually see what you can actually spawn versus the max memory file and a few other things that are in that referendum. Now, when you're setting up different priorities on a dedicated, you can change those to high priorities. Same thing with your task, your thread party, and everything else, and a few other things that can actually make your server better. There's also a couple INI things that could also tie into that, but that'll be down below in the description. So when you're testing about network analysts and everything else when it comes to benchmarks, you got to see about delays and response times. Now, delays and response times can be allocated and can be changed if you have control of your server as a dedicated or a dedicated data center kind of epicenter. A few other things that you need to watch out for when you are programming or you're just doing console commands with this kind of setup is that you got to show everything. You got to analyze almost every single part because you don't know what can cause the server to just lock up and freeze. Like, don't stop foliage. If you stop foliage, it's just going to literally make your server into a potato and you're going to have 0 server FPS because it literally freezes everything. So stat is another interesting tool, and you can pretty much light up everything that you're going to be needing when it comes to showing your different queries. When you're showing different queries, like on over here, you see your named event system. You can actually save custom events with this as well with your name event system, as well as your response times and your draw distances. So as you're going through and back and forth, you can actually be able to see an enabling an application of the purge, as well as a few other things, while you're analyzing these command prompts that you're able to do. So when you're going through all this and you're seeing all the testing, you're just like, okay, what can you do? Experiment a little bit, but don't experiment with a large population on your server. Do it on an off-peak time so that you don't have people complaining to you, like on my server when I accidentally do it during raid time. I'm sorry, server. Can you forgive me? Okay, so here's the other thing when it comes to like putting in these different prompts. Now you can actually have durability ones where you can just break everything to see if they can be replaced or repaired, and a few other things, as well as when you're going through your allocation steps when it comes to the GDIC and your setups, make sure you have proper control. If you're on PC, you have something called FTP. FTP is something that can really help you in your staging process, as well as get time of day, because apparently the server freaking clock is off of everything. So just say get server time and it's right there, or get server setting. It's pretty easy if you don't have access at the point of using the escape function. There's also a few other things that you could actually do as well besides FTP, a few other controls, as well as for what you see here on this kind of collision, which is get server health. Server health is one of the more prudent things when you're trying to analyze like your LOD, your frame rate areas, and then you can see your target's delay and your target ping deposition so that you can analyze what you can do and how you can do stuff better. This is also helping especially if you have a machine node and you want to dedicate all cores to something, because that is going to be as well in the link in the description down below. So you have a few different things where you can actually access, as well as LOD groups, dispositions. You can actually stop the purge, enable the purge. The easiest way to do it is end purge, which I'll show later. And then the easiest way to start up a purge, especially when you're on a server, is start next purge phase. The other ones where it's just like purge clan and all these other ones, they don't really work as well. So they're not really optimized on the admin control panel for a QOL kind of setup and disposition. So when you're going through these other things, when you're going to show debug physics and show debug HUD, this is more important when you want to write a SQL injection script to get exactly what you need to identify when it comes to a macro user or a velocity speed script user. So there's something that you have in the label for every character LOD. It's called velocity and acceleration. What you can do is that you can calculate based on these kind of show dispositions on how much travel time that you can have when you are doing a full sprint, and how much travel time that you will have in dodge rolls. Those are prefix numbers, so anything that is above that disposition when it comes to running or rolling will show that. Your maximum effort, which I will always say, is a full sprint while rolling, so that you can identify what a speed user is. It doesn't matter what battle I would say at that point, because if you're over that value, you would be writing a script or something to identify it. Other things like setting up input. Big thing if you want to get your full AOA of your full sensory input. Your full sensory input is one of the biggest things when you are trying to write some code and see something different. This is like viewing a player. When I'm viewing a player, I can actually see exactly what they're doing. They kind of broke viewing player because it doesn't really load the buildings unless you're like within the distance of the player, because as you can see, he's in the north and I'm completely like past spawn, like I'm southern of spawn, and I'm like, all right, so I can't view his base, so that's good, but he's naked. I don't know. A few other things that we still have gripes for as admins is that we can't see the player's inventory or perk system. So again, it's not perfect for the view system, but it can still work. And then what you do when you're done with that is you view yourself, and then you pretty much are done with that. Again, I'm still going to stress this enough. People can write anti-speed hacks because we have a velocity identifier. All you have to do is, if player runs faster than this acceleration, kick them from the server. That's it. So what I'm loading up right now is an area that's just an open area, and the devs earlier in development, they used this area for fighting each other. So what they would do is they would just grab a load kit set, and then they would be like, hey, yeah, we could actually do this. So now we have like the hammer, sword, everything else. This is something that's just like an extra little thing. It's like a separate map that they made so that they can do their little testing. This actually has one of the spider boss areas, kind of like underneath the southern aqueduct area. So they're able to actually just make this area. They just copy pasted it and made a little arena for themselves. And honestly, I would like to see this implemented on some modded servers. Not the map itself, but these little totem pole guys, so you can like kit out and you can just fight one another. I honestly think that is a crazy idea that I would really like to see. It's just like, oh yeah, that's just the gear set. You want to pick it up? Yeah, you're good. Yeah, now you're just a full star metal guy, and then you can just now fight. They originally intended star metal to be endgame. How much has that changed? Star metal is not endgame loot anymore. If you want that flawless Aquilonian spear, if you want something different, then you have Silent Legion. His actual name is Death Knight, by the way, inside the mod kit, for everybody that doesn't know how to do that. So, yep. Again, one of the bigger things that I've recognize when it comes to seeing these kind of battle structures and everything else. It gives you the mentality behind the people that are making your game. So besides me just giving you some admin tips as well as some admin like oversight code so that you can actually analyze your servers a little bit easier, possibly, maybe, I don't know if it'll help you, but it's definitely helped me when it comes to areas like when I walk up to a base and then it would just instant tank the server, so my delay would actually go completely up, and that was because of placeables. Very important tool when it comes to that. The other area that I have is one of the areas that I had for my video for my fish well base. So my fish well base, it's just like, it was here, this was preloaded beforehand, and I'm like, you know what, might as well use this as well. Again, it's something that's completely easy to use, it's very easy to access, and enjoy, guys. Have a great day. If you like this kind of stuff, I hope this has helped you on your server. Please, like, honestly, because it's helped me tremendously. It took me a lot of hours just to figure this amount out, besides like different bat files to change or to see different values of people's characters back when the 50 stat glitch was a thing, and a few other maintenance things. That is really good. Thank you, Bug, for your maintenance, and have a good one. Again, I'm sorry that I said it twice, but have a good one.